What's going on to you Geminis out there? Hope y'all are having a great day. Please make sure to smash that like button. Also, there's a link in the comment section below called the Linktree link. Click on it. It will redirect you to a website which has all the ways to be able to financially support the channel so I can most definitely keep the show going. So look, you Geminis have the Temperance, the Page of Swords, and then you have the Devil card right here. Let me show it to you. Right? These three cards right here. So look, so far, the Temperance represents Sagittarius, the opposite zodiac sign of y'all, right? But I say that this reading right here is really a blessing in disguise. We're gonna get into it. Look, the Temperance, the Ace of Swords, and the Temperance, the Page of Swords, and the Devil card is about how it is that you have been held back by your own mentality very recently. And you're not holding yourself back anymore. If it's not your own doing, then circumstances obviously that have come into play in which you Geminis are not allowing those circumstances to ever get in your way. The reason why it is that I'm saying that in the first place is because the Temperance, there's still so much more to live for. There's still so much more to learn. A lot of you Geminis, the way that your outlook has changed, it has really grown. A lot of you Geminis want to really start listening to yourselves a lot more about what it is that you want to do and actually start doing the things that you ultimately want to do. The reason why it is I'm saying it is because you Geminis are very much so at peace with yourself. And this is something that you have learned to create as time goes on, right? Gemini, y'all being all over the place, mutable air. Air in on itself is mutable because air is all over the place, right? If you go to a place where there is no air, terrible things can happen, right? But now you being mutable air that's essentially drafty and windy and expansive, a lot of you Geminis, your mentality is that way. But even though you are expansive, internally, it can cause a little bit of a problem because you Geminis, you've gotten to this point in your own internal development where you Geminis understand the Page of Swords and the Devil. You understand it. These are elements of you. These are bits and pieces of you. You thinking that you have been caged for so long due to messed up circumstances. And I honestly see that you Geminis are not going to hold yourselves back from doing the things that you want, because I definitely see that there's a brand new spin on life. There's a brand new desire to live your life, to enjoy your time here, and I'm not talking about doom and gloom. I'm talking about regardless of however much time you have, right? Whether you Geminis are 16, 17, all the way up to the Geminis that are 99, 100. I just see a lot of you Geminis are like, it's been you that has been holding yourselves back. Yes, you still have fun here, but there's so much to learn. There's so much to live for. What's been partially a problem is that Geminis go through a lot of stuff. Geminis go through a lot of dysfunction, a lot of family issues. Family issues is a big one. Family issues is a big one. That's a big problem that a lot of you Geminis tend to have. It's whether it's family with cousins, children that you may have, siblings, children, brother, sister, family issues. And a lot of you Geminis have been realizing that, everybody is at a certain age where they can afford to actually live their life and do their own thing. So, in other words, there's this great mental and spiritual expansion and emotional expansion that a lot of you Geminis have been, you've grown into, right? You have become much more like the space race is a Sagittarius thing, because now you've done all this exploration. Now it's like you have to continue to explore and see what else is out there, which is kind of where you get into the whole Capricorn and Sagittarius and Aquarius energy. Because now it's like, now it's like, okay, well, where do you go? You go towards the stars, right? You reach towards the stars. And I think that a lot of you Geminis are interested in trying to reach for the stars, seeing where it is that you can go. The Page of Wands and the Two of Pentacles now is about, because a lot of you Geminis understand that, no matter how long you live, life is too short to be sitting up here holding grudges, being at odds with people, going on 40, 50 years of self-doubt. And ultimately, this is exactly the same thing, Gemini, that I've been talking about so much when it pertains to relationships. This ideology of like a person wasting their time however long on somebody that they say that they don't like, deliberately trying to be combative to another person that they're supposed to be in a relationship with. It's like, you have to understand that one day, and this is no disrespect, everybody needs to understand that they're not going to live forever, and one day they're going to be ended. This is not anything disrespectful. This is just a reminder, which goes hand in hand with this reading anyway, that goes to show and prove that at some point, everybody has to understand that spend your time wisely. Think about what it is that you really want to do. So the Page of Wands and the Two of Pentacles represents, and this is what I mean when I say you Geminis have no more time for the dysfunction. You have no more time for the nonsense, the people who would be a time waster, right? They saying that they like you, but then you've hung out enough with them and long enough to know that that's not really what it is. To know that you Geminis are wasting your time. Whether, they like you, but they're never gonna turn around. They're never gonna turn their life around. Whether it is that they tell you that they like you, but they have some serious issues with you, about the situation. And the Page of Pentacles represents just a little bit of the frustration that you Geminis have. Why didn't you figure this type of stuff out sooner? And the answer to that is, answers come in time. You know what I mean? Like, if I'm sure that a lot of us would choose, if you have advantages in life that you have now, I'm sure a lot of us would want to have advantages in life that we have now, but reverse time to where we take our advantages that we have, assets that we have, how tight our family has become, right? Now, way back then. So we still have all that time, but all the stuff that we're able to accomplish, but when we're much younger. So we have way more time on our clock. You understand? We have way more time at our disposal that will actually make work for us. And then the thing about it is that the Three of Wands and the High Priestess now is about how it is that, and so that's the case. So now there's a lot of you Geminis have the Sagittarius outlook, where it's a lot more exploration, a lot more expansion, a lot more worldly things to explore, a lot more to understand. The Three of Wands and the High Priestess are all about how, and not just physically, but mentally as well, spiritually, mentally. The High Priestess represents, and this is something that ultimately, if a person really does want to get with you on this, they're going to have to learn to be very spiritual people themselves too. They're not going to be able to mash with you or be with you or exist in a relationship with you unless they have learned to become a lot more cosmic, right? Now you're in spiritually, you're in orbit, right? In the sense of the moon. The moon is extraterrestrial, meaning that, well, technically it's actually terrestrial because the moon is really a piece of the earth that has been broken off and is floating in Earth's orbit. But the point is, that's neither here nor there. Look, the point is, right? Y'all know that I be kicking the signs, but that's neither here nor there. The point is that that's neither here nor there. But look, the point is that you Geminis you're looking at things expansively now. You have so much of a greater perspective. You're looking at your own life from a bird's eye view is what it is that I'm seeing. And a lot of you Geminis have a better understanding that, in order for someone to even be able to really be in a relationship with you, right? When it comes to the matters of the heart, relationship-wise, you Geminis have essentially raised the bar because, and this is what makes, this is another layer of the game, because this is partially what makes dating so difficult. See, again, and and try it out for yourselves. This is part of what makes dating so difficult, because another element of it is the spiritual element. The spiritual element, right? When you get to a point where you are advancing spiritually, it's going to be kind of difficult for you to meet people that are spiritual as well, or really understand things, not this zeitgeist, we're living in the matrix, type of stupid mentality where it's like, okay, explain the matrix. And then they think that they're living, they're like, oh, because of this. And it's like the whole planet existence is the matrix, moron. Just because you get out of the United States matrix doesn't mean that you're out of the matrix, moron. To live in its entirety is matrix reality. You get out of the matrix when you are disembodied, when your soul has gone back to the source, which is you. Okay? So now, right, when because sometimes you'll have those zeitgeist fake spiritualists, you know what I mean? Those coffee shop spiritualists, the bohemian coffee shop types of people. I'm telling you, people done learned some new stuff last week. You know what I'm saying? They learned some new fake spiritual stuff last week, and then they now start trying to kick it towards everybody else, such and such. And it's like, you know how long I've been doing this? I've been doing this stuff. I'm about to be 33 this year. I've been doing this stuff since I was 14. Basically 20 years. Like, this stuff that you studying, this stuff that you kicking to me, the whole world is the matrix. To exist is the matrix. But this is what happens when it is that you are on a different spiritual level. To really find someone that really understands the spirituality, that really understands what the source is actually doing in the different facet of reality, if you catch my drift. That's going to be few and far in between, because most people do not understand that. Most people, like I said before, when it comes to the spirituality type stuff, most people are one of three things. they're either beginners. I'm talking about most people. In that category of most people, they're either beginners, they're either beginners, fake spiritualists, or coffee shop bohemians. And what I mean when I say coffee shop bohemians is people who just got a little piece of information, and it's like they think that their piece of information is the end all be all. And they and they go around repeating it, trying to talk about or act like how much knowledge that they have or whatever the case may be. And they just end up working against themselves, like Sneeko. And yeah, Sneeko is a Virgo, giving all of us Virgos a bad name. But anyway, the Nine of Swords, the Nine of Swords is about how it is that, so you Geminis just don't want to, there's this new sense of you Geminis just don't want to live your lives without ever having actually living it to the capability that you could have. And then now you have the Judgment and the Five of Cups. The Judgment is about how, well, other people, one thing that you need to know in the future, if you've, or maybe you're already starting to experience it now, is that the more spiritually inclined you are, the more you're going to have opposition. I shouldn't have said that. I should not have said that. I should not have said that one. Yeah, I said it. The more spiritually inclined you become is the more you're going to have opposition. Because you got to understand, Gemini, right, with the Judgment card, this is a part of what makes it difficult for you to find a match that's a good match for you. Because of the fact that you're rare. You dig what I'm saying? Because of the fact that you are rare. So because now you are rare, guess what that means? That means that you are, because of the fact that now you have opened up even more and you're growing spiritually and everything like that, right? And you're even deeper than spiritually. You're growing on a soul level now. That puts you ahead of people 10, 15, 20, 50 years. Case in point. I used to get ridiculed talking about relationships. And some of my subscribers know what I'm talking about because they've been here, right, for a long time. I used to get ridiculed. I used to get clowned back in the day when I was 14, 15 years old, trying to put people on to relationships, that a relationship is 50-50 because it requires both people to actually be active about how it is that they want to exist in a bond, right? A bond that they say that they have with other people. Yo, I used to get clowned for that. I'm coming from a home where my mom and my sister go to work. They can afford to have relationships, which my sister does, for over 20 some odd years. Literally don't have a problem working. Hard workers on top of that. Both of them are Pisces. Right? So I come from a household where neither side is about sitting down and not doing anything and talking about how it is that they don't want to work and trying to con the other person out of doing everything for them. And I sat back with evidence. Because like I said, I seen my mom and my sister work, and my brother worked, and I went to school. And the family worked fine just like that. And I was telling these goofies about how a relationship, the only type of relationship that works is 50-50. Show and prove, 50-50. That's the only type that works. Because if the other types of relationship was supposed to work, why hasn't it? See, it's only giving off it's only giving off the illusion that it has worked, but that epoch and that era in time, right? ERA, that era in time has ended because it's not natural to try and tell people about this. This was back when I was 15. The dating coaches now coming back, talking the same stuff that I was talking about since I was 15 years old. Yo, this was back then when I was 15. I'm about to be 33. These people talking some stuff that I done figured out 18 years ago. So when I say that people, and I you know what I'm saying? I could go on. I can make this video longer about how I got ridiculed so much, Gemini, for being so far ahead of the game. Now, all of a sudden, there's this explosion, so to speak, or this expansive information of people talking about dating and relationships, and good for them, right? I'm not saying it's terrible. It's what needed to have happened. But the point that I'm trying to make here is the dating coaches is literally telling you stuff that I was telling people for years, and there's evidence. There's some subscribers that I've had here on that's been rocking with me. Shout outs to you loyal ones that's been here with me for years, that have noticed since 2016 I've been saying the same stuff since 2016, right? For years I was saying it. So when you are spiritual, you will develop the ability to know to see the writing on the wall, no matter how long it takes. And other people will try to ridicule you and bash you and disrespect you for it. So this is a part of what makes dating and relationships somewhat a little bit more challenging for spiritual people, because all the stuff that I said that was coming into, literally documented, all the stuff that I said was coming into pass 10 years ago, 15 years ago, 20 some odd years, well, no, not 20 some odd years ago. Basically 20 some odd years ago, but almost 20 some odd years ago is now coming into pass. And it's the same thing that's going to happen for you. So now the Five of Cups, by the time stupid individuals now want to come back and apologize, it will be years later now that they have experienced the stuff after the fact, because you were too much ahead of your time. So not only is this a level of spiritual and physical and soulful expansion, or I should say development for you Geminis, but this reading is also a warning a little bit to let y'all know that y'all are embarking on a journey that very few people on the planet go. So pay attention. Watch how it is that other people interact with you. So let's clarify the High Priestess. The Six of Cups, Five of Cups, Four of Cups, Knight of Swords, and the Strength card. So to clarify the High Priestess. So once again, the Six of Cups and the Five of Cups is about how, once again, you're going to have some, what did I say? You're going to have some exes that are going to come back to you because you said something, because you're starting to become more in tune with yourself, more real with who you are and your darkness as well as your light. And you're making decisions that is necessary for you. And people are not going to like you for it, but they will respect you. So the Five of Cups now represents, as a result, a lot of you very much so have a level of you Geminis really, you've changed fundamentally, right? Because the Six of Cups represents you're going to have people that you know from the past coming back, and they're so attracted to you now. There's just something about you, but the something about you is your development. But the Five of Cups and the Four of Cups represents you Geminis will never be able, if you've grown, you Geminis will never be able to go back. That's the thing about knowledge. Once it is that you've gained knowledge, you know. You can't believe it. It's not about belief anymore. Belief is for people who do not know. You're not a believer. You are a knower. You know how to do it. The Knight of Swords now and the Strength card now represents, you know that you're not a regular person anymore in that sense. You know that you're not going back to acting like you. In other words, you Geminis know that you're not going back to acting like there wasn't something wrong with said relationships. You Geminis know that there was something inherently broken about them. And you may even be able to even pinpoint what was broken, that these people are now coming back. So the relationship's still not even going to feel the same.